Looking live at the spin room there at the Reagan Library as the debate, the big debate, the primetime debate gets ready to go. And there's the order of all the candidates. They won't be in two tiers there. They're just to fit them on the picture there. That's how they'll stand next to each other. The front runner, right before getting to the Reagan Library, tweeted, "We'll be heading over to the debate soon. Can you believe CNN is milking it for almost 3 hours? Too long. Too many people on stage." We're back with our panel, expanded panel. What is probably the big move tonight? What do you think these candidates have to do?
Well, looking at the single-digit candidates, who include some that we thought not very long ago were doing very well and were leading the pack, I have a sense that there may not be much they can do to advance their fortunes until this fever that seems to have seized a huge slice of the Republican electorate has broken. We are now operating in a kind of an upside-down world of politics in which qualifications, that is to say, offices held, achievements recorded, things done in governance, are disqualifying. And so if John Kasich or Jeb Bush or Governor Walker get up and talk about the things they did in their respective states and the taxes they've cut and the economic growth they've achieved and all the rest of it, that's a bah, says the current majority. We don't want to hear from you. You're a politician. We want amateurs. We want outsiders. And that's what they so far want. And there's not a lot you can do if you're not one to act as if you are.
Well, they clearly want passion, Charles, and they and Jeb Bush with the moniker low energy. I bet he's going to be drinking some Red Bull before tonight's debate.
You know, Trump keeps repeating how Bush has this teeny-weeny, tiny energy problem, and Trump has huge energy, enormous energy. And you don't have to be a psychiatrist to decode that. In fact, if you saw the picture of him on the battleship yesterday, that was about as a decodable a symbol as you could ever see. I think Jeb is going to have to show, because he didn't have a weak debate by conventional terms, the ones you're talking about, Britt, where you weigh the arguments and you balance them. He had a weak debate in the sense of, yes, teeny-weeny energy. And the same with Scott Walker. So he's got to defend himself and he's got to prepare. I assume that Bush has got one zinger prepared. We'll be waiting for it.
George.
Well, Samuel Goldwyn said, the key to acting is sincerity, and if you can fake that, you've got it made. So they've all got to go out and pretend to be something. I don't think there's any precedent that I can think of, other than Carson in the last debate, where a man radically improved his standing in the debate. People have hurt themselves, but Carson's closing statement seemed to have done the job for him. There's a Trump-Fiorina dynamic here because that's personal, and because she's new and he's the sun around which all the other planets revolve. But something's about to change. The Club for Growth is buying $1 million worth of TV time in Iowa. That's a lot of time in Iowa, simply to attack Trump. This is a new experience for him, and I'm not sure he'll take it with his usual grace.
So far, though, he has transcended any political gravity, any traditional, you know, even attack ads, Jeb Bush ads, whatever.
Right, but if you think of the Club for Growth ads coming after tonight, if tonight is not a good night for Trump, if he picks a fight with a woman, if he picks a fight with sweet Ben Carson, and it doesn't turn out so well, he is not in your arena in Cleveland, Brett, with 4,500 people screaming and hooting and hollering. This is a much more sober scene with Mrs. Reagan in the front row, and hopefully, and this is not going to be sort of a Trump environment. So if he flubs, and actually last night on the battleship he wasn't doing so well. I mean, he came to give a national security speech. He didn't give one. He talked about the veterans and he left pretty early. So he's actually in an interesting moment because with Ben Carson surging, he's feeling some heat.
I think everything AB says makes perfect sense if the normal rules of politics were in force. So far, they are not. And you can make a very good case that says, as she does, that this is not a good arena for him and all the rest of it. I didn't think the first debate he did particularly well. I thought Marco Rubio had a particularly good night, and a lot of other people thought so too. And he's continued to decline in the polls. So I think that the results of this debate will happen outside the arena when and if people sort of decide that this was fun and we loved it for the summer and time to move on and get serious.
More talk about the state of the race in the online show. That's it for this panel, but stay tuned to see a fair and balanced debate over a suit